Namaste one and all. Hope you all are enjoying Deepavali festival, and I wish you all a very safe and happy Diwali. Today I want to explain about digital lending. Digital lending topics are being asked by so many of my banker friends to make one video about digital lending. Actually, Reserve Bank of India on September 2, 2022 issued one circular with number DOR-CREREC 66 bar 21.07.001 bar 2022-23. As per this circular, I want to tell you about digital lending. Lending is being done by banks to needy customers according to various sectors like that. Here, digital lending. What is digital lending and to whom it is applicable? What are the some definitions used in this circular? Those all I want to explain you in this one. Actually, this digital lending, to whom it is applicable? Who can go for digital lending? That means which organizations or which institutions can go for digital lending. So first we have to concentrate what R.B.I says. R.B.I says this scope of application, these guidelines are applicable to digital lending extended by whom? By all commercial banks. All commercial banks, those are extending digital lending to the needy people is eligible. So all commercial banks eligible, all primary cooperative banks eligible, state cooperative banks, district central cooperative banks, and NBFCs also eligible, non-banking financial companies. NBFCs including housing finance companies also eligible. This is most important in this one. Who are eligible to go for digital lending, I have already told. What is digital lending? Next. Digital lending is nothing but a remote and automated lending process largely by use of seamless digital technologies for customer acquisition, credit assessment, loan appraisal, loan approval, disbursement, recovery, and associated customer service. So, in digital lending, whatever in general lending process of loan cycle, the same will happen in digital lending also, but through technology. Earlier, simply we are all physically handling. Now, through digital, we are doing this lending. So, all banks, commercial banks, cooperative central banks, non-banking finance companies, etc. R.B.I says like this. Even though they have the Reserve Bank of India given some guidelines regarding cooling off or lookup period, the board should decide, and also R.B.I suggests as follows. A borrower shall be given an explicit option to exit digital loan by paying the principal and the proportionate APR without any penalty during this period. The cooling off period shall be determined by the board of the RE. This is already told. The period so determined shall not be less than 3 days for loans having tenor of 7 days or more and 1 day for loans having tenor of less than 7 days. For borrowers continuing with the loan even after lookup period, prepayment shall continue to be allowed as per extant R.B.I guidelines. These are the most important. Some suggestions given to REs by Reserve Bank of India. So, cooling off period shall be determined by the board of RE, and the period so determined, that means whatever the board is going to be determined, shall not be less than 3 days for loans having tenor of 7 days or more. So, if the tenor of the loan is 7 days and more means the cooling off should not be less than 3 days. Like that, 1 day, it should not be less than 1 day for loans having tenor of less than 7 days. In the process of digital lending, we have to discuss some terminologies that is like DLA, LSP, cooling off period or lookup period, APR, like these some words are coming. These we have to go for discussion. Here, what is APR? APR is nothing but annual percentage rate. APR is the effective annualized rate charged to the borrower of a digital loan. So, while giving digital loan, what are the charges to be charged to the borrower as per annual percentage rate. APR shall be based on an all-inclusive cost and margin, including cost of funds, credit cost and operating cost, processing fee, verification charges, maintenance charges, etc. And exclude contingent charges like penal charges, late payment charges, etc. So these all points one should know for knowing digital lending and annual percentage rate. APR. APR is like that. And cooling off or lookup period. You all know cooling off period or lookup period. Even then, as per this circular, what it is saying. A cooling off or lookup period is the time window as determined by the board of the RE. RE means regulated entities. Here all commercial banks, cooperative banks, whatever we have told, NBFCs, these all. So as per the board of that RE, which shall be given to the borrowers for existing digital loans in case a borrower decides not to continue with the loan. So here R.B.I specifically told to REs, they themselves in the board meeting they have to pass what is the period of cooling off or lookup period. So R.B.I has not particularly told this much period like 15 days or 30 days like that, but boards of individual REs they have to decide. Next, here two important points are there, one DLA and one LSP. DLA means digital lending apps or platforms, DLAs. Mobile and web-based applications with user interface that facilitate digital lending services. This is most important. Mobile and web-based applications with user interface that facilitate digital lending services. DLS will include apps of the regulated entities as well as those operated by lending service providers, LSPs, engaged by REs for extending any credit facilitation services in conformity with extant outsourcing guidelines issued by the Reserve Bank from time to time. This is the most important digital lending apps or platforms. These are mobile and web-based applications with user interface that facilitate digital lending services. So here one more important point is LSP. Who is LSP? Lending service provider. LSP means lending service provider. An agent of a regulated entity. Who is regulated entity? All banks. Commercial banks or cooperative banks. Whatever I have already told in the beginning of this video itself. An agent of a regulated entity who carries out one or more of lender's functions or part thereof in customer acquisition, underwriting support, pricing support, servicing, monitoring, recovery of specific loan or loan portfolio on behalf of REs in conformity with extant outsourcing guidelines issued by Reserve Bank of India. So, LSP is the outsourcing agent for regulated entities. These are the most important points about this digital lending. And what is the customer protection and conduct requirement in particular digital lending? This loan dispersal, servicing and repayment. REs shall ensure that all loan servicing, repayment, etc. shall be executed by the borrower directly in the RE's bank account without any pass-through account or pool account of any third party. So directly they have to go for their bank account only. The disbursement shall always be made into the bank account of the borrower except for disbursals covered exclusively under a statutory or regulatory mandate of RBI or any other regulator. Flow of money between REs for co-lending transactions and disbursals for specific end use, provided the loan is disbursed directly into the bank account of the end beneficiary. REs shall ensure that in no case disbursal is made to a third party account, including the accounts of LSPs and their DLAs, except as provided for in these guidelines. So it is most important in customer protection and conduct requirements. The borrower's account only should be created. It should not be created to any third party account, including LSPs or DLAs. So these are the most important points which I covered, and still one or two points are there. Collection of fees or charges, etc. Payment of fees or charges. RE shall ensure that any fees, charges, etc. payable to LSPs are paid directly by them only. Them means REs, and are not charged by LSP to the borrower directly. Here, either LSP or DLA should not collect any charges from the borrowers. Whatever their charges, only REs should pay them. RE means regulated entities, that is commercial banks, cooperative banks, whatever permitted as per the circular in R.B.I guidelines. And one KFS is there. What is KFS? Key fact statement. RE shall provide a key fact statement to the borrower before the execution of the contract in a standardized format for all digital lending products. So, in the key fact statement, everything should be provided to the borrower as per the pro forma given by the R.B.I. The KFS shall, apart from other necessary information, contain the details of APR, the recovery mechanism, details of grievance redressal officer designated specifically to deal with the digital lending or fintech related matter, and the cooling off lookup period, etc. etc. Any fees or charges, etc., which are not mentioned in the KFS cannot be charged by the REs to the borrower at any stage during the term of the loan. So here everything should be very much clear in KFS. KF means key fact statement. In that one only the digital lending banks or NBFCs should mention in KFS. Digitally signed documents. Earlier we are taking physical documents in the banks for giving loans or lending. But here in digital lending, all the documents should be signed in digital form only, digitally signed documents. REs shall ensure that digitally signed documents on the letterhead of the RE with KFS, summary of loan product, sanction letter, terms and conditions, account statements, privacy policies of the LSPs or DLAs with respect to borrowers' data, etc. shall automatically flow to the borrowers on their registered and verified email, SMS upon execution of the loan contract or transactions. So these are the most important points in case of digital lending. List of LSPs. REs shall prominently publish the list of their DLAs or LSPs engaged by them and DLAs of such LSPs with the details of the activities for which they have been engaged on their website. So all banks should publish the list of LSPs on their website. This is most important. One should go for a website of various banks to go to know the list of LSPs or whatever the related details and all we can see through websites of particular banks. So these are the most important points. And finally, before closing, I request you all to watch our videos and thank you for watching, and please subscribe our videos and please encourage your junior bankers also to watch our videos, and it is most important, and as per R.B.I guidelines and Government of India guidelines and Finance Ministry guidelines, like that we are everything we are bringing to your notice through our videos. YouTube channel name is Suvarna Chundi. Please subscribe Suvarna Chundi YouTube channel. Thank you one and all for watching. Have a great day ahead.